Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey, I'm Johnny Mac with 5 good news stories. If you're a parent like me, I'm sure you love waking up every morning and seeing where the elf on the shelf has moved to now. Yep, it's one of those great traditions I know parents love, and children love it too. And so has a man who has taken the elf on the shelf tradition to a whole new level. He got a tattoo. Lawrence, he's a tattoo artist. He decided to keep the Christmas magic alive for himself and his family all year round when he surprised them with a tattoo of an elf on his foot. That's not a shelf, that's a foot. The kids found the elf on the shelf with a note that explained that someone had been inked, creating mystery in the household. In a video, one of the children is checking himself all over to see if he magically got a tattoo during the night, but nope, the elf on the shelf hadn't used his power for that. His dad revealed the fresh tattoo on his foot. Lawrence said, the initial idea was to set up the tattoo machine or take pictures of them in the studio. I decided to go one step further and tattoo an elf's face onto my foot. So it's the elf on the foot, and we won't have to look for it. We'll just have to find Lawrence. A woman who recently celebrated her 115th birthday, I did not misspeak there, has claimed that the secret to living a long life is to eat plenty of beans. This is not the first story I've done with a person who's lived a long, healthy life talking about beans, right? We just had the guy from Australia about a month ago. I had one of those stories. Well, this is Helena. She celebrated her big 115 with her 15 great-grandchildren, and it's claimed that her bean-rich diet is the one thing that has kept her strong and healthy for over 11 decades. Wow, she was born in 1908. Alongside beans, Helena said sleeping well, exercising regularly, and joy were important factors in her long life. Helena, who lives in Brazil, often goes shopping to the market with her granddaughter and loves going for regular walks to stay active. She also makes a yearly pilgrimage to the world's largest cathedral, the natural sanctuary of Aparecida. Her husband passed away in 2004 at the age of 103. That couple was doing something right. Most of her children have passed away. Helena remains close to her grandkids and great-grandkids. A middle school principal in Kentucky has adopted a girl. She had been acting out after she spent her whole life in and out of foster homes. She was sent to the principal's office after being suspended, and he realized she just needed perhaps one time for something to go in her favor. The principal told Good Morning America, I felt like she just needed a hand, needed help. I recognized that she needed something to go in her favor, maybe for once that it hadn't gone in her favor in the past, but she just needed somebody to help her. The young girl said it was really weird at first, because in my mind I thought of the principal as the bad guy, because I was always getting in trouble. I gave them a lot of trouble to see what would happen. I kind of tested whether or not this was real or not to see if they would keep me no matter what, because they would tell me that, but I'd heard a lot of that before. Raven improved her performance in school, graduated, and is attending the University of Kentucky. She's studying to be a social worker. Justine was having trouble finding the perfect pair of jeans, so she decided to grow one from scratch. Justine is a textile artist who teaches botanic fabric dyeing at the Wild Diary, and she set herself the challenge of growing her own jeans after becoming passionate about the environmental impact of the fashion industry. Cotton, which is usually used to make denim for jeans, requires so much water to produce that cotton production has become one of the most harmful industries to the environment, according to the UN. It can take 10,000 liters of water to make one pair of jeans. Yikes! Growing her jeans was not easy. She grew her own flax and indigo on her allotment, but she didn't know how to spin or weave. She says, I spent 9 months learning to spin before even touching my own crop because it was too precious and I was terrified to ruin it. After that, it took me about 9 weeks to spin my own. Hand spinning linen is really hard. I needed resilience, determination, discipline, and patience to complete it. I had to surrender myself to this plant. The manual labor and the toil involved in making the jeans has really taught me to have a much deeper respect for my clothes. Every item is sacred. Good news from the justice system. You may have seen this one. Emily was a store manager at a Chipotle. An irate customer hurled a chicken burrito bowl at her face. Well, now a judge has sentenced that customer to work at a fast food job to avoid further jail time. The Burrito Chucker was found guilty of 1 count of assault after admitting to throwing the burrito bowl. The judge said, "This is not Real Housewives of Parma. This behavior is unacceptable. You didn't get your burrito bowl the way you like it, and this is how you respond." At first, the customer was slated to pay a fine and undergo a 180-day jail term with 90 days suspended. However, the judge presented her with an opportunity to cut her sentence by 60 days in exchange for consenting to work 20 hours per week at a fast food restaurant for 2 months. The Burrito Chucker agreed. As for the woman who was hit by the burrito, she said, "I had to work with food in my face and hair for the next 4 hours after it happened because no one was sent to relieve me." A Chipotle spokesperson said, "The health and safety of our employees is our greatest priority." That's your 5 good news stories for today. If you enjoy the show, tell somebody about it. They can follow it wherever you found it, which might be Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, or somewhere else, but you figured it out. Show them how to do it, and I'll see you on Friday.